Hi everybody, Glyne here, and it is time for this week's leadership truth. And this week's truth is the rub is real. The rub is real. In the years that I have been executive coaching, this is the one thing that I've learned. Most of the time, not all of the time, but you know what? I'd almost go to 99.9% of the time. When somebody is feeling unhappy at work, disengaged, unsatisfied, miserable, it is usually because a core value of theirs is being stepped on, crushed, obliterated. When you are out of alignment with your core values, you are going to feel a rub. It is going to rub you the wrong way, right? It happens in our relationships and it happens in the work that we do. So when you are in that kind of situation, here's the thing to really start to think about. What is the value that you are rubbing up against that needs to get better balance? In my case, one of my biggest core values is independence, flexibility, freedom, and autonomy. Sorry, can't unbuckle those. Those of you who know me know that those just get mushed together. It is a driving value for me. It made it so that when I worked in organizations before I decided to become an entrepreneur, I was really happy for the first couple of years, but then it didn't matter how awesome my boss was. I never had the amount of freedom that I ultimately wanted. I always used to feel like, people were interfering with me. And at some point for me, even though I found a place that I was actually able to work for 8 years because it was so entrepreneurial and I had so much leeway that it worked for a long time, but that took a lot of time for me to find that place. And then ultimately, I ended up leaving and going somewhere else. And that was where I really hit my own personal wall and, really needed to make a change. So knowing what your core values are and knowing where your big rubs are allow you to take action and do something about it. Because when you can isolate what's really bugging you, then it opens up opportunities to have conversations with your manager about what you can do to either stop doing something or maybe start doing something else. Or sometimes it's just about having a conversation and understanding the expectations that maybe we're placing on ourselves that are rubbing against our values, that maybe our manager has a different set of expectations. So thinking about your values before you decide to jump ship. I don't want you to take my story as being, the answer is when your values are out of alignment, leave. This was like through almost 20 years of my career that this had been a reoccurring pattern. I'm a slow learner, obviously. It took me a while to figure out what I had to do to kind of move towards that independence. And I would say if I had found an employer that had given me that level of independence, I probably would stay there. So knowing your values is really critical in order to help you manage your own engagement and your own job satisfaction. It is not up to your employer to do that for you. It is up to you to figure out what those areas are and how to make sure that when you start to feel that rub, you know what to do about it. All right. So here's my question for you to ponder this week. What is one of your core values that is going to be mission critical for you? What is one of your most important core values? All right. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next Friday. Our new leadership truth drops on Tuesday, and follow us on all of our social channels to see everything that is new and what's going on with the Roundtable. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.